You're very welcome to this video. This video is about the leather stamps that came in the Medoga hand sewing kit, and there seems to be quite a number of them. We didn't look at them when we had the good look at the kit. We just saw that there were a number of them, so I thought today we would have a look at them. Now, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing when I'm stamping leather. Absolutely none. Okay, so I've watched a few videos and they say that first of all you need to wet your leather. So I have a sponge and I'm just going to wet the leather and see what happens. It seems to be taking quite a lot of wetting. I don't know if there's something on the top. Let's see. Right. I don't know if you can see that, but it's looking quite damp. I don't know how damp is damp. I might just add a bit more because it looks a bit pale. As I say, I've got no idea how damp is damp. So I've wet some leather. Don't worry about the blue bit on the top, it's just the sponge that I had. Right, we'll leave that to dry, and while that's drying we'll have a look at what's in the case. So there are quite a lot of leather stamps of different sorts, and one thing I have noticed is that each of them has a reference. So for example, I believe this is what you call a Pear Shader, and it's a ZP217, and I believe that if you Google that, or if you ask for one of those, you'll get this Pear Shader. I believe that each tool has its own one. So we have for example, a ZC433, which is, I believe, a camouflage tool of some sort. I believe somewhere that they actually do have some method of telling you how big or small they are, because there are different sizes of tools. For example, this is a ZV407, so it's looks like an edge shader. I don't know what you do. I mean, I have no idea what they're called. So first of all, let's see how many tools we actually have, and then once we've done that, we can have a look at each of the tools. And the idea of the leather is to try some of them out, and I have never ever stamped leather ever before, so this will be my first time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So there's 21. I believe that's called a seed head, and it's a ZS349. We have a butterfly. That's a ZZ788. And then we have, there is one which I've got absolutely no idea what it is actually. If I can find it. You know, it would be a good idea if I pointed these at me rather than away from me. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm not sure which is the correct way round for these. I really don't know, because that, it seems that the number on that one points towards me. Let's have a look. And the number on that one points towards me, so I assume that if you've got the number pointing towards you, it's the right way round. This is a ZE294, and as I say, I have absolutely no idea what that is. So there are 21 tools in the set, some of which I believe are fairly standard, and so they don't feel that well indented, but we will soon find out. There's a Pear Shader without the rough on, so that's just for sharing. That's a ZP206. So I'm going to turn these around so I can actually see what the faces look like. Aha. That's a basket weave, which is a ZX511 there. So, well, let's try some. So, the leather, well, it doesn't feel very wet to me, but it's looking wet and it's a bit damp underneath. So, let's try something simple like that. I've got no idea what I'm doing here, by the way, so we'll just do that. Now, I'm told that you hold it like this, you put it directly upwards, and you give it a hit. I believe we'll need more water. Let's try that again. You can feel where it went. Yeah, you're going to need more water. So let's try that and see what happens. The water doesn't seem to be going into this one. It just seems to be sitting on the top. So maybe they've already done something to this leather so that the water doesn't go in. Let's try the butterfly shader and just let that dry for a moment. Let's try that. The butterfly stamp. So let's, I don't know if you can see that. It's, where are we? There we are. I think. Can you see that? It's very faint. It's very faint. So I don't know if they've actually put something on the surface of that, with this leather. So this leather might have a coating on it that I don't know about, which is perfectly possible. It is, as I say, scrap leather. Maybe it's just not wet enough. Let's try wetting it a bit more. See what happens if we wet it a bit more. And it seems to be being absorbed, either that or it's evaporating. We'll give it a moment to go in. We'll try doesn't seem to want to absorb anymore. As I say, I've got no idea what I'm doing with this, so that looks a bit better. Seems I'm going to give it quite a good hit. So that was that. Don't know if you can see that. It's that one there. Seems you've got to give it quite a good hit before it works, but I don't know what it does. Let's just try Pear Shader and see what happens with that. Oops. All it's doing is just doesn't seem to be doing something. So I'm just wondering if this leather has got some coating on it already that's not allowing the water in. Well, if you can see that there. Anyhow, let's try a tool. I believe this is called a mule's foot. So let's try that. Oh, that went in. So there's the mule's foot. Did a better job, the mule's foot. Let's try a seed head above it. Well, let's try it below it, see what it looks like below. Ah, now that's interesting. It's starting to go into the leather, so I think I wasn't wet enough before. That's what I think. Let's try the basket weave. I don't know how this works. I really don't, actually. So, that's the basket weave there. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's the basket weave. It sort of looks like a basket weave, but it certainly looks like this leather might have some sort of coating on it. Anyhow, the tools seem to do the job. The sharper one, the smaller ones seeming to do a better job than the larger ones. Let's just try that. I'll tell you what it was. I'm nearly certain now. You need to leave the leather to soak for a while, or you certainly need to leave this leather to soak. This is, I believe they call it casing the leather. I do, because it's strange how the impressions are fading actually. The first ones I did are certainly fading on that, and it's only the excuse me, the others that are working. Anyhow, I'm going to have to learn a lot more. I believe the best thing to do with leather is you put a bit of washing up liquid, dish soap, into the water, just 1 or 2 drops. You then case the leather and then put it into a plastic bag and leave it for 12 hours or so, and then you start doing your pattern. This is what they're telling me on the videos. I must admit the basket weave is looking quite good. I didn't hit it right, and I'm going to have to do something about the noise as well, because that's quite loud on that. But anyhow, there's 21 tools. You have a mule's foot, you have a seed head, you've got a small pear shader, you have some sort of flower pattern there, you have what looks like a large seed head, you've got some of these, I believe they're called a camouflage tool, that type of thing. Oh, I believe that's called an edger or a shader, and it's for when you have carved the leather, you can make the edge better with that. There's this thing which I've got no idea what it is. Let's say there's a sort of flower pattern there, butterfly. I've seen those. What's that? Another seed head, another camouflage tool, another very small pear shader. Right, now that again is where you shade the edge. I don't know what it's called. I really don't. But it's got a pattern on it. What have we got here? We've used that one. So 21 tools in there. There's probably, if you're going to do a lot of leather work, there's probably not enough. What this has taught me is that I definitely need to know a lot more about leather and how to wet it and things like that before I can do anything, because as I say, you can hardly see the butterfly. The first two I did. That, as I say, the mule's foot you can see quite well, but the others, maybe I need to have a heavier mallet. I have a much heavier mallet or a maul. They do recommend a maul downstairs. I have in the garage. I have a pretty heavy mallet, so I shall try that. Anyhow, those are the tools. Those are the, sorry, not the tools. Those are the leather stamps. For working the leather, and they seem to work. They seem to work. It's just my inexperience, I believe, with the leather as to how it's working on here. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.